Welcome back. All right, this is the busiest night we're going to have in the National Hockey League until October. Yeah, 14 games. Now there's a 15-day or 15 game day on Saturday, but it's not like all squashed into the evening. I just mean 14 evening games. We're going to see that again till October. There's 13, not this coming Tuesday. I think it's the Tuesday after. But anyways, all right, so let's go ahead and roll into the New York Islanders and the Florida Panthers. The Islanders clinging to what I still think are pretty faint playoff hopes, but the East is starting to look like the West did last year with like nobody really locking down playoff spots. So it's there if the Islanders want it. Varlamov versus Stolars in this one. Early press by Florida. They had the only shot on net 4 minutes in. The Panthers press at 5.5 minutes. Verhaeghe has a rush chance. He fires high there. Shots are 5-0 Panthers at 6 minutes. There's more pressure by them at 7 minutes. The Islanders score. There's a goalie interference challenge, and yep, no goal. And then Tarasenko scores from a sharp angle. Barkov and Kulikov with the assists at 8:13. So Florida's up 1-0. However, the Islanders weren't going away. Pulock goes posting in from the right circle, and it was Pulock that had the goal that was taken away earlier in the period. So he gets that one from Pajot and Cizikas at 13:19. Panthers press to respond. There's more pressure by Florida in the final minute. It's 1-1 after one. Second period, there's an early power play for the Islanders. That's killed off. The Islanders will go back to the power play. That gets killed off as well. And then at 6:32, it's Barkov from Reinhart and Mikkola. It's Mikkola's first point in a while. Puts Florida back in the lead, 2-1. 8:43 in, Barzal scores from Pulock. That one deflects into the net. And then at 10:42, Pajot scores from Cizikas and Pelech. They challenge that one for goalie interference. It fails, so New York gets power play. The referee's told that he sucks. It's okay, the Panthers kill it. Panthers press with 5 minutes left. Barzal's denied on a rush. Things get pushed on a hole by Stolars. It's 3-2 Islanders after two. Third period, Islanders draw a power play. That's killed off. 5 minutes in, the shots are 4-3 New York. Panthers press at 5.5 minutes. We get a power play for Florida. That's killed off. Then we get a 4-minute Islanders power play with 5:31 left. To the Panthers' credit, they do kill that off. With 40.2 seconds left, the Panthers call a timeout. Things get punchy on a hold by Varlamov. They hold on. The Islanders hold on. They win 3-2 in Florida. They go to 31, 26, and 15. Florida loses. They go to 46, 22, and 5. But because of other results tonight, Florida has clinched a playoff spot, so they're going to be there. Shots on net 9-6 Florida in the first, 13-5 Islanders in the second, 14-5 Florida in the third. Final shots 28-24 Florida. Power plays, the Islanders 0 for 6, Florida 0 for 1. The hits 42-29 for Florida. Varlamov saves 26 out of 28. Very good night for him. Stolars saves 21 out of 24. Next up, the Flyers were just really snake bit tonight, and a lot of goals came back. So it's Ersson versus Primo. The Habs press at 2.5 minutes. Caulfield's denied on a rush. The shots are 2 apiece 6 minutes in. We get a power play for the Flyers. Does it suck? Well, yeah, it's a Flyers power play. The Habs press at the half. They end up getting a power play. They score on theirs, and it's only their third shot on net, too. Suzuki, on a tic-tac-toe play, scores from Slavkovsky and Matheson at 12:58. And then Montreal adds another. Ullinen with his first since November, apparently. Struble and Suzuki with the assists at 16:46. So he buries the rebound to put the Montreal Canadiens ahead 2-0. Things get punchy on a hold by Primo. There's more punching at the horn, so we start the second period with 2 minutes of 4-on-4. And in the second, there's more punching on a hold by Primo. The Flyers are getting frustrated, and it really showed in this one. The Habs draw a power play. That's killed off. The Flyers press with 9 minutes left. They end up getting a power play. Do those Flyers? Does it suck? Well, yeah, it's a Flyers power play, so of course it doesn't score. The Habs press with 6 minutes left. There's just pushing on a lot of whistles at this point. The Habs press in the final minute. They're up 2-0 going to the third period. The Flyers score, but Primo says it was kicked, so they review it, and it's no goal. The Flyers get a power play after that. It sucks again, so no goal there. The shots on net are 2-0 Philly at 4 minutes. The Flyers score. Offside challenge. Yep, that one comes off the board too. The Flyers press at 7 minutes. There's another power play for the Flyers, and guess what? They don't score on that one either. It's all going against Philly right now, isn't it? Jacky has a shot that's blocked and cleared. Suzuki scores, but his goal doesn't count because high stick. Hathaway's denied and close. The Flyers press with 4 minutes left. With 3:22 left, we get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. The Flyers pull the goalie, and Armia scores into the empty net from Matheson and Gouli at 17:05. The Flyers do break the shutout. It's Owen Tippett from Hathaway and Konechny at 18:59. So down 3-1, they pull the goalie again. which means Jake Evans hits the empty net from Matheson and Armia at 1956. So Matheson with 3 helpers tonight. Your final score is 4-1. Montreal 28, 32, and 12. So don't look now. They're getting closer to that NHL 500 mark. Philly's getting closer to it too, but in the wrong direction. They're 36, 28, and 10. Shots on net, 6-5 Montreal in the first, 9-6 Philly in the second, 16-5 for Philadelphia in the third. Final shots, 30-17 for the Flyers. Power plays, Philly 0 for 4. Montreal 1 for 2. The hits, 26-18 for Montreal. Ersson saves 13 out of 15. Primo saves 29 out of 30. All right, next up. Chicago and Ottawa, the game I watched the least today, not going to lie. So it's Mrazek versus Forsberg. There's an early power play for the Hawks, which leads to a shorthanded goal, 36 seconds in. Giroux wires one from the slot, Bernard Docker with the assist. The Sens finish the kill, and then on a turnover, Kelly puts one in off Zaitsev at 6:08, makes it 2-0 for Ottawa early. Stützle tips one wide on a rush. The shots are 14-4 Ottawa with 8 minutes left. We get a power play for Ottawa. That's killed off. The Hawks press with 2 minutes left, but it stays 2-0 for Ottawa after one. Second period, shots were 4 apiece, 7 minutes in. The Hawks get stuck on 4 shots for a while. We get another power play for Ottawa. That's killed off. It stays 2-0 after 2. Third period, power play for Chicago. Killed off. No shots on net there. The only shot on net was for Chicago 4 minutes in. The Sens press at 3.5 minutes, or 4.5 minutes, I should say. Pinto has a rush that's blocked. The Hawks press at 8.5 minutes. The goalie pull happens with 2 minutes left. It doesn't matter. They don't get a goal, and so the Tony the Tiger Magnet's up there because Ottawa wins 2-0. They go to 32, 36, and 4. Ottawa's doing it again. They're winning games late in the season. Chicago 21, 47, and 5 with the loss. Shots on net, 16-7 Ottawa in the first, 11-6 Ottawa in the second, 7-6 Ottawa in the third. Final shots, 34-19 for the Senators. Both teams go 0 for 2 on the power play. Hits 32-27 for Ottawa. Mrazek played pretty well, just didn't get any goal support. 32 saves on 34 shots. Forsberg, 19 saves for the shutout. All right, next up, Columbus and Pittsburgh. And of course, for Pittsburgh, they're trying to keep their faint playoff hopes alive. And with what happened elsewhere tonight, they are alive. It's Tarasov versus Nedeljkovic. Crosby has a rush chance that deflects out. Shots are 4-2 Pittsburgh at 3.5 minutes. The fans call one. The referee does not. Penguins press at 9 minutes. Columbus giving up a lot of shots in that first half of the period. It was like a shot a minute through the first 9. And then they got much better in the second half of the period. Didn't allow very much. We get a power play for the Penguins. That's killed off. And like I said, it was a better second half for Columbus. So it's 0-0 after 1. Second period. Raquel has a shot that's blocked. The Penguins press at 2.5 minutes. We get a power play for Columbus. That's killed off. And then Olivier scores shortly thereafter. Severson and Sillinger with the assists at 5:18. Malatesta then left. Looked like he hurt his shoulder, his arm there. So hopefully he's okay. Power play for the Penguins, and they score on it. It's Malkin at 9:50 from Letang and Rust. Shots are 5-4 Pittsburgh with 8 minutes left. The Penguins press with 7.5 minutes left, but on a 2-0 rush, Sillinger gets a goal to go with his assist. Texier and Provorov with the assists. So at 13-11, Columbus gets their lead back at 2-1. Power play for the Penguins, and they score on it. It is Malkin from Crosby and Bunting at 16-11. So Pittsburgh's power play has been a bit of an issue for them this season, and by which I mean they're right near the bottom. They're not as bad as Philly, but they weren't far off at points. But yeah, it came through for them tonight, so it's 2-2 after 2. Third period, 35 seconds in on a rush. O'Connor scores. Crosby and Joseph with the assists. Puts Pittsburgh ahead 3-2. We get a power play for the Penguins. That's killed off. The Penguins go back to the power play. That's also killed. Penguins press with 3 minutes left. The goalie pull happens with 2 minutes left. An empty net miss by Letang I felt deserved to be on the board with 28.1 seconds left. Columbus gets a power play, so it's a 6-on-4. Pittsburgh hangs on. They win 3-2. They go to 32, 30, and 10 on the season. With the loss, Columbus 23, 38, and 12. Shots on net, 10-8 Pittsburgh in the first, 16-4 Pittsburgh in the second, 10-7 Pittsburgh in the third. Final shots, 36-19 for the Penguins. Power plays, Columbus 0 for 2. Pittsburgh 2 for 5. The hits, 25-12 for Columbus. Tarasov saves 33 out of 36. Nedeljkovic saves 17 out of 19. All right, and last game on this board, Washington and Toronto. So Toronto, this is quite the game for them, and for Washington, this is kind of how it works. If it's a close game, they win. If it's not, they're probably going to lose. It's Lindgren versus Wolf. Early jump for Toronto. There's a press by the Leafs at 2 minutes. In fact, the shots are 3-0, 3 minutes in. Power play for the Caps. That's killed off. One shot. Toronto clears out after it's done. get a power play for Toronto. That's killed off. 5 shots on net for Toronto on that power play. Caps press after it's done, but Toronto scores first. It's Giordano from Nyes at 10:09. Caps would look to respond. Jensen has a net drive that's held. The shots are 11-7 Toronto with 7.5 minutes left. Brody's denied. He hasn't had a goal in quite some time. I think he has the longest goal drought in the National Hockey League. Caps clear after. The Caps press with 2.5 minutes left. Things are pushy at the horn. Toronto's up 1-0 after 1. Second period, 18 seconds in. Bertuzzi scores from Brody and Matthews, so at least Brody's still getting helpers, right? Nyes then has a shot that's blocked as the Leafs look for more. They get some pressure a minute and a half in. There was a post for Max Domi on a fast break. The horn even sounded, but it wasn't in the net. And then Dowd, he gets Washington on the board with a goal from Jensen and Lapierre at 5:27. Then Washington gets a power play looking for the tie. That's killed off. Leafs press at 8.5 minutes. Strome has a rush chance that's saved. And then at 11:38, Dewar scores from Reeves and Kampf. So there's the fourth line chipping in for them and restoring the 2-goal lead for Toronto. Caps press with 6.5 minutes left. Tavares is denied on a 2-on-1 rush, but it's 3-1 Toronto after 2. Third period, 1:06 in, McMahon scores. He gets one from Tavares and Benoit. The shots 4 minutes in are 5-0 Toronto. They were not going to be denied. Caps press at 5.5 minutes. Eventually, Bertuzzi adds one at 10 minutes and 11 seconds to make it 5-1. Shots were 12-6 for the Leafs with 3.5 minutes left. Really, really solid game for Toronto. They win this one 5-1. They go to 41-22-9 on the season. With the loss, the Capitals 36-27-9. Shots on net, 19-8 Toronto in the first, 14-10 Toronto in the second, and 15-6 Toronto in the third. Final shots, 48-24 for the Leafs. Power plays, 0-2 for Washington, 0-1 for Toronto. The hits, 43-32 Toronto. Lindgren saves 43 out of 48, and Woll saves 23 out of 24. That being said, I need to change boards. All right, and now a 4-game board. So we're going to start off talking about Detroit and Carolina. Detroit needs to start winning some games. Carolina looked good. They clinched a playoff spot tonight as well. It's Reimer versus Anderson in this one. Good early back and forth. The shots are 2-0 Canes, 2.5 minutes in. Rasmussen fires one wide on a rush. In fact, Detroit had problems hitting that net in the first period. The shots are 4-0 Carolina at 7.5 minutes. Wings get some pressure at 8.5 minutes. They do not get to the net. Natchez has a rush chance that's held. Orlov has a screenshot kicked aside. Shea has a blast that's held. The shots were up to 10-0 at this point. In fact, they had the first 11 shots before Detroit got one. Stahl has a net drive that's defended. Gensel's denied and close with 32.4 seconds left. The Canes get a power play. So Detroit's very lucky at 0-0 after 1. Second period, the Wings finish the kill. The shots are 2-0 for the Canes at 3 minutes. And at 4:42, Aho tips one in on a rush. Gensel and Jarvis with the assists. The Canes then draw a power play, and at 5:39, it's Jarvis from Aho and Gensel on that power play. Makes it 2-0. The Canes press at 7 minutes. There's Freddie Chance after a big save by him. Not the only time we heard those. 8 shots for the Red Wings 30 minutes in. So not a great night for them offensively, although they would get a lot more shots in the second half of the game. At 10:46, Natchez scores to make it 3-0. Kuznetsov and Martinuk with the assists. Canes press with 6 minutes left, and at 16:23, Shea buries his own rebound. He scores from Aho and Jarvis. So Aho with quite the game with 4 points there. 1:26 left. The Wings get a power play, so they're down 4-0 after 2. They need a goal. They do not get it in the third, not to start. Canes finish the kill. Wings go back to the power play, so the Canes kill that one off as well. Canes press at 7 minutes. The shots are 9-5 for the Red Wings with 6.5 minutes left. The Canes would press with a minute and a half left. Things get pushy on a hold by Anderson. The Tony the Tiger Magnet tells you it was a shutout. It was a 4-0 win for Carolina. They go to 46-21-7 with the win. With the loss, the Detroit Red Wings 36-30-7. So again, teams that should be, trying and getting those results, not necessarily right now in the East. Shots on net, 15-3 Carolina in the first, 10-9 Carolina in the second, 12-8 Detroit in the third. Final shots 33-24 for Carolina. And by that I mean they're leaving the door wide open for somebody else to come in and get it, like the Islanders, for instance. Power plays, 0-2 for Detroit, 1-2 for Carolina. The hits, 17-11 for Detroit. Reimer saved 29 out of 33. Freddie Anderson, good night for him. 24 saves on 24 shots and a shutout. All right, next up, San Jose and Minnesota here. So Blackwood versus Gustafsson. This was a very quiet game. I'm not going to lie, it was a quiet game until the third period. Shots are 2-1 for Minnesota 5 minutes in. The Wild score, but it was after the play's dead. So fans didn't like it. The Wild didn't like it, but there's that. Rossi's then denied on a fast break. We get a power play for Minnesota. That's killed off. Too many Sharks on the ice. The Wild go back to the power play, so that's killed off as well. The shots are 13-1 Minnesota with 6 minutes left. And at 16 minutes, Eriksson Ek, who's just returning to the lineup tonight, scores from Kaprizov and Boldy. So it's 1-0 Minnesota after 1. Second period, the shots are 5-4 for the Wild at 7 minutes. At 9:26, San Jose scores. Granlund scores from Ruda and Vlasic. It deflected off Chisholm's stick right to Granlund in front of the net. So it's one of those ones that just, you're trying to block the net feed and you accidentally passed it to the other team. We get a power play for San Jose. That's killed off, but it's 1-1 after 2. Third period, 18 seconds in. A little bit of an early press by Minnie, and Boldy scores from Kaprizov. 2-1 Minnesota. Sharks press to respond. The shots are 5-3. San Jose at 4.5 minutes. The Wild press at 5 minutes. Thrun has a sharp angle shot. That's blocked by Middleton. Wild press with 9.5 minutes left. The Sharks press. Hoffman has a shot that's held. There's a press by the Sharks with 2.5 minutes left. The goalie pull happens in the final 2 minutes. And at 19:06, Hartman hits the empty net. Gustafsson with the helper. And Minnesota wins this one 3-1 to keep their faint playoff hopes alive. They go to 35-28-9 with the win. With the loss, San Jose 16-48-8. Shots on net, 15-1 Minnesota in the first, 9-7 San Jose in the second, 17-10 San Jose in the third. Final shots 32-27 for the Wild. Power plays, San Jose 0 for 1, Minnesota 0 for 2. The hits 18-10 for San Jose. Blackwood saves 29 out of 31. Gustafsson 26 saves on 27 shots at the other end. So again, in the end, San Jose doesn't quite have enough, and Minnesota gets those points. All right, next up, Calgary and St. Louis. So this, again, two teams that are below that playoff line. St. Louis's hopes take a bit of a blow tonight because of what happens here, but we'll get to that. First, we have Wolf versus Bennington. We get a power play for the Blues. That's killed off. Miramanov then fires one wide on a rush. The shots are 3-0 Blues, 5.5 minutes in. We have a press by the Flames press with 7.5 minutes left. The shots were 7 apiece with 6 minutes left. And again, the shots, I don't know how reliable they necessarily are because they do change, but at 13:02, Bolduc scores for St. Louis from Toropchenko and Binnington. They have an excellent record when they score first, but Calgary would score after. Kuzmenko scores at 14:48 to tie it. The Blues press with 4.5 minutes left, so trying to respond, but with 2:33 left, the Flames get a power play, and Huberdeau tips one in to give the Flames the lead. Weegar and Anderson with the assists at 18:37. It's 2-1 Calgary after 1. Second period, the Flames had the early jump. The Blues press at 2.5 minutes, but at 3:27, Jake Neighbors scores from Thomas and Parayko. So Neighbors continues to put up goals. Blues press for the lead. We get a 4-minute power play for St. Louis, and during the second 2 minutes, they score. Buchnevich from Neighbors and Krug at 8:54. We then get a power play for Calgary. That's killed off. But at 16:50, Kuzmenko gets his second of the game. He scores from Kadri and Weegar. That's a tipped-in goal as well. So it's a tie game after 2 at 3. Third period, Flames score, but it's waved for a high stick. Kuzmenko argued it wasn't. That would have been his hat-trick goal, I would guess. And then St. Louis scores, because that's kind of how that works, right? 2:04, it's Saad from Kyrou. It was a turnover that Kyrou forced, and Saad buries it in close. The Flames answer, but it's an offside goal, so that comes off the board. Saad has a rush chance that's held. We get a power play for Calgary. That's killed off. The Blues press at 8 minutes. The shots are 4-3 Flames with 6.5 minutes left. The Flames press with 3 minutes left. They would pull the goalie, which allows the empty netter by St. Louis. Buchnevich from Krug and Binnington, and that's at 18:45. So by my count, Jordan Binnington had 2 assists tonight. So your final score is 5-3. The St. Louis Blues win this one. They go to 39-30-4. Calgary drops below NHL 500. 33-34-5 with the loss. Shots on net, 9-7 Calgary in the first, 9-8 Calgary in the second, 10-4 Calgary in the third. Final shots, 28-19 for the Flames. Power plays, both teams 1 for 3. The hits, 22-17 Calgary. Wolf saves 14 out of 18. Binnington saves 25 out of 28. All right, next up. Vegas and Winnipeg. Winnipeg has started to really stumble, and it's interesting because it feels like some Canadian teams that are up near the top or, look like might be contenders are starting to have those struggles. So it's Thompson versus Hellebuck, early press by the Jets. Things get pushed in a hole by Hellebuck. Colasar had a fight with Stanley. It was a pretty good tilt there. The shots are 7-2 for Vegas 5 minutes in. We get a power play for the Jets. That's killed off. 3 shots. There's a near miss for Lowry on a tip shot. Things get pushed on hold by Thompson. And then Vegas scores. Dorofeyev scores on a rush from Carlson at 15:56. We get a power play for Vegas. That's killed off. Jets press in the final minute. And that was the only power play for Vegas in the game. They're up 1-0 after 1. Second period. 3:31 in, Monahan ties it. He scores from Ehlers and DeMello. Jets then press for the lead. We get a power play for the Jets. That's killed off. Get ready for me to say that a bunch of times here. Jets press after it's done. They get another power play. It is killed off. Shots are 10-2 for Winnipeg with 5 minutes left. They go back to the power play. That's killed off as well. Vegas' penalty kill was very good tonight. Pressed by the Jets in the final minute, but it's 1-1 after 2. Third period. Marchessault has a shot that's blocked. The lone shot on net was for Vegas at 2.5 minutes. We get a power play for the Jets, and it's another kill for Vegas. Shots are 4-1 at the half for the Jets. Another Jets power play. In fact, it was 5 minutes for Haig, and then Scheifele comes in and instigates a fight. So when the dust clears, there is no power play out of it. I will be interested to see if Haig gets anything from Department of Player Safety. It was an elbow that catches Nemesnikov in the head. I believe it was Nemesnikov, but it stays 5-on-5. And Barbashev would score at 14:31 from Mantha and Whitecloud. So there's the lead. They pull the goalie, and Barbashev hits the empty net at 18:15. And then after the goalie's been pulled yet again, Eichel hits the empty net at 19:26 to make your final score 4-1. Vegas is heating up now. They're 40-25-8 with the win. With the loss, Winnipeg 44-23-6. Shots on net, 14-10. Vegas in the first, 15-6. Winnipeg in the second, 15-7. Winnipeg in the third. They do outshoot Vegas 40-27. Power plays, Vegas 0 for 1. Winnipeg 0 for 5, and that really stands out. Plus, I understand going over and picking a fight with a guy who, picked the head, but in the end, that probably cost Winnipeg any hope for a point out of this. Hits were 47-40 for Vegas. It was a very physical game. Thompson saves 39 out of 40. Hellebuck saved 23 out of 25. That being said, I need to change boards. And the last board of the evening, we start with the New York Rangers and the Colorado Avalanche. This felt like playoffs. This absolutely felt like playoffs. If this is a Stanley Cup final preview, we're going to have a great Stanley Cup final. At any rate, it was Shesterkin versus Georgiev, the former backup versus the starter and all that. Shots are 2-1 for the Rangers at 2.5 minutes. The Rangers press at 6 minutes. The Avs then get some pressure 8 minutes in. We get a power play for the Rangers. That's killed off. The Avs press with 9 minutes left. The shots were 5 apiece with 7.5 minutes left, and there weren't very many shots after that. 2:48 left. The Avs get a power play. That's killed off. It's 0-0 after 1. Second period, the Rangers press at 1.5 minutes. McKinnon has a rush chance. That's held. Roslovic's denied and close. Schneider has a screenshot. That's saved. We get a power play for the Avs. That's killed off. Shots are 8-6 for Colorado with 9 minutes left. Jones hits Trocheck right there with the puck, and it's a spot men don't want to get hit with a puck. So at any rate, Middlestad would score before the period's out at 19:27 from Duhaime and Manson. It's 1-0 Colorado after 2. Third period, the Avs had the lone shot on net at 2.5 minutes. Woods denied on a rush, and then at 2:59, Kakko from behind the net. Banks went in off Georgiev. Pretty creative play there by Kakko. He has his 11th of the season. Shots are 3 apiece, 4.5 minutes in. Walker has a shot that's held. There's a press by the Avs at 6.5 minutes. We get a power play for the Rangers, and Kreider scores from Trocheck and Panarin at 9:35. They challenge it for a glove pass. Nope, the goal counts. So the Avs announcers were not happy. The Avs fans were not happy. And then what makes people even less happy is that means the Rangers go back to the power play. So the Avs do kill that off, and then Taves on what the app now says is an own goal. And I have to say the NHL app underwent some improvements over the last couple of days. Way better for me to track games with. But Taves gets that one at 12:47, and again, it shows as an own goal. Initially, it looked like it might be Rantanen's or McKinnon's, but McKinnon's point streak ended tonight. So we have a post for Parise as the Avs press. The Rangers press with 2 minutes left. It's 2-2. We're going overtime. The Rangers controlled early. The teams exchange rushes. Lehkonen has a rush chance that's held. Walker's denied. McKinnon had a rush chance that's saved. We go to the shootout, and Panarin and Trocheck would score. So your final score is 3-2 in a shootout for the Rangers. They go to 49-20-4 and keep pace with Carolina, who also won tonight. With the shootout loss, the Avs 46-21-6. So they pull a point further ahead of Winnipeg, but they fall a point further behind Dallas with tonight's results. Shots on net, 6 apiece in the first, 12-10 Colorado in the second, 17-7 Colorado in the third, 5-2 Colorado in the overtime. Final shots 40-25 for the Avs. Power plays, the Rangers 1 for 3, Colorado 0 for 2. The hits 17-13 Colorado. Shesterkin saves 38 out of 40. Georgiev saves 23 out of 25. Shesterkin still on the app shows 39 saves on 40 shots. I don't care if it's an own goal. He didn't save it, so 38 saves on 40 shots. At any rate, moving along. All right, LA and Edmonton. So, Talbot versus Skinner. This might be a first-round series preview, although if Vegas passes LA, we could get Edmonton-Vegas in the first round. So we have a power play for the Kings. That's killed off. And then at 5:36, McDavid scores, which is odd because normally he's getting all the assists. So he gets a goal from Ekholm and Bouchard. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Shots are 3 apiece. At 8 minutes, we get a power play for the Oilers. During that, Hyman has a rush chance that's saved. Power play's killed off. It's 1-0 Oilers after 1. Second period, Moore has a net feed that's picked off. The Kings press at 3.5 minutes. Roy has a screenshot that's held. Nurse with a near miss from the slot. The shots are 8-3 for the Kings at 8 minutes. The Oilers press at the half. Ekholm has a shot that's blocked. The Kings rush after that. The shots are 8-7 for LA with 5 minutes left, meaning Edmonton had the last 4 shots. LA wasn't hitting the net all of a sudden. Oilers press with 2.5 minutes left. Kopitar, Byfield are denied. And then at 19:42, Henrique has one that deflects. He deflects in off him on a wraparound attempt, I believe, by Draisaitl. McDavid with the other assist on that as well. So McDavid back to getting assists. It's 2-0 for the Oilers after 2. Third period, McDavid's denied and close. Then there's an offensive zone penalty by Hyman. That power play's killed off. The Kings press after it's done. And then we get a power play for the Oilers, and they score on it. It's Bouchard at 5:05 from McDavid and Draisaitl. So there's McDavid again. He's going to get 100 assists this year. Makes it 3-0. Things get pushed on a hold by Talbot. The Oilers press at 7.5 minutes. There's more pressure by the Oilers with 9.5 minutes left, but Kaliev would score to get the LA Kings on the board from Byfield at 13:47. The goaltender gets pulled early by the Kings. Dubois is a one-timer that's held, and then at 19:19, Ceci hits the empty net from Draisaitl. Draisaitl with 3 helpers tonight, and your final score is 4-1 for the Oilers. They go to 44-23-4 with the win. With the loss, the Kings 38-23-11. Shots on net, 8-7 for the Oilers in the first, 11-7 Kings in the second, 15-5 Kings in the third. Final shots are actually 33-20 for the Kings. Power plays, LA 0 for 2, Edmonton 1 for 2. The hits, 49-32 for Edmonton. Talbot saves 16 out of 19. Skinner, 32 saves on 33 shots. All right, next up, Nashville and Arizona. This may end up being a bit of a longer stretch for me to explain because there's a lot that happens here. So it's Saros versus Ingram, and 2:22 in. Zucker scores on the 5th shot of the game for Nashville. Coyotes had none. Glass and Sissons with the assist. And then on the 6th shot, Coyotes still have 0. At 5 minutes and 11 seconds, Zucker scores again from Cody Glass. So it's 2-0 Nashville. Looks like this could be a laugher. But at 8 minutes, on their second shot, the Coyotes score. It's McBain from Doan. Yeah, Josh Doan got some points tonight. Coyotes press with 9 minutes left. Nyquist is denied as the Nashville Predators press. And then at 17 minutes, Cooley ties the game from Lawson Krause. And with 38 seconds left in the period, the Coyotes get a power play. So it's 2-2 after 1. Second period, the Preds finish the kill. Brown gets dinged on a shot block. He took it in the exact same place as Trocheck. Shots are 4-3 Coyotes at 5.5 minutes. We had a fight between Luke Shen and Liam O'Brien. Too many Preds on the ice. The Coyotes get a power play, and they score on it. It's Keller from Kerfoot and Gunther at 7:10. It's tic-tac-toe on a turnover after the Preds can't clear it. And then at 8:11, Cooley scores from Keller. So Logan Cooley with a couple of goals tonight. Power play then for Nashville, and they score on it. At 11:08, it's Nyquist from Forsberg and Yossi. He roofs that one in close. However, Arizona scores again. Bukestad with his 20th of the season. He goes 5-hole. Keller and Schmaltz with the assists at 12:36. And then at 16:05, Nick Schmaltz gets in on the fun. He buries it on a net drive. Keller and Dursey with the assists. 2:29 left. The Coyotes get a power play. That's killed off. But, yeah, the Coyotes are ahead after 2 periods of play. And so Saros' night is done. In goes Lankinen. In the third period, the shots are 3-1 for the Coyotes at 2.5 minutes. Good forechecking by the Coyotes. Dursey has a slap shot that's blocked. There's a press by Nashville with 9 minutes left. Things get pushy behind the Nashville net. Keller nearly adds one. The goalie pull happens with 6 minutes and 20 seconds left. And at 13:57, Michelli hits the empty net from Josh Doan because he had a couple helpers. And then Nashville gets a power play and they score on it. It's Forsberg from Yossi and Barry at 16:40. They pull the goalie because you got to be aggressive. and Cooley hits the empty net at 18 minutes and 21 seconds. By my count, that being a hat trick goal, and Nashville wins 8-4 with the victory. So they go to 31, 37, and 5 on the season with the win. With the loss, Nashville's 18-game point streak comes to an end. They go to 43, 26, and 4 and miss out on a chance to pull within 2 points of the Jets. The shots on net, 13-12 Nashville in the first, 15-9 for Arizona in the second, 14-13 Nashville in the third. Final shots, 40-36 for the Coyotes. Power plays, Nashville 2 for 2, Arizona 1 for 3. The hits, 35-26 for Nashville. Saros saves 21 out of 27. Lankinen saves all 11 shots in relief. Ingram saved 32 out of 36. So, yeah, that happened. That's the thing that happened tonight. Arizona went, you know what? We'll end the streak. We'll do it. Nobody else can do it. We'll do it. Because no pressure on them and all that. All right, next up, the Ducks and the Seattle Kraken, who I think are currently on a power play. So it's Dostal versus Grubauer. There's a power play for Anaheim. That's killed off. The Kraken get a turn. That's killed off as well. Shots are 8-3 for Anaheim, 8.5 minutes in. So Anaheim didn't show up in the last game in Seattle. They showed up tonight, at least mostly. Ducks were a post away from the lead. We get a power play for Anaheim. That's killed off. It's 0-0 after one. Second period. Ducks press at 2.5 minutes. Kraken gets some pressure of their own at 4.5 minutes. We get a power play for Seattle. That's killed off. Seattle goes back to the power play because it's their natural state is power play. Schwartz scores from Eberle at 9:04. And yeah, Anaheim takes too many penalties. We know this. Tonight they took it just to a whole other level. Ducks press with 9.5 minutes left. The shots are 6-4 Seattle with 7.5 minutes left. Seattle gets another power play. That's killed off. Kraken press in the final minute, but they're up 1-0 after the second period. Third period, we get a power play for Seattle, and at 2:08, Lundestrom scores shorthanded on a rush, 11 seconds into the power play from Silverberg and Vakanainen. And then at 2:52, shorthanded again, Silverberg scores unassisted. So on a breakaway, he makes it 2-1 for Anaheim. Then we get 34 seconds of 4-on-4 because there's got to be a lot of penalties, which means that we get 4 seconds of 4-on-4 after a Grubauer hold. And the Kraken have a 4-minute power, or 3-minute 56-second power play after that. During the first 2 minutes, Burakovsky scores from Schultz and McCann at 6:24. The Ducks kill the other two, but they're not done going to the box. There's fighting. There's all this kerfuffle going on. Zegras goes to the penalty box, and he breaks the camera in the penalty box, which I don't know. I feel like players have to be fined for that amount. Like they have to pay for it. Like you break it, you bought it, and NHL players absolutely you break the box, break the penalty box's camera. You should be paying for it. So yeah, and it sounded like the Seattle announcers were angry about it too. But anyways, the Kraken go back to the power play. That's killed off. The Kraken press after, and they score. Cartier with his first goal in a while. Gordon Alexiak with the assist at 13:03. The Kraken go back to the power play. Then it becomes a 5-on-3 for 38 seconds. They don't score during the 5-on-3, but they score during the 5-on-4. Beniers scores from McCann and Burakovsky at 15:35, and Seattle wins 4-2. They go to 30, 29, and 13, back above NHL 500. For the Ducks, 24, 45, and 4 with the loss. Shots on net, 10-8 Anaheim in the first, 9-4 Seattle in the second, 10-9 for Seattle in the third. Final shots, 27-23 for the Kraken. Power plays, Seattle had all of them almost. Anaheim had 0 for 3, which is a normal number. Seattle was 3 for 10. 10 power plays. Sean Spears should come out. Anyways, hits were 31-23 for Anaheim. Dostal saves 23 out of 27. Grubauer saves 21 out of 23. All right, and the last game of the night, Dallas and Vancouver. So again, matchup between two teams I like. And it does feel like Vancouver, they've been at home for a while, and now their record's starting to slip a little bit. This did not look dissimilar to the game against LA. A bit more exciting, a bit more wide open because Dallas plays a little more up-tempo, but I get to watch Anaheim and Vancouver on Sunday, so be jealous. All right, so Ottinger versus DeSmith. Lindell has a shot that's caught and held. The Canucks press. They're not getting to the net, though. They get some pressure at 6 minutes where they do get some shots, and there's a nice helmet save on Zadorov by Ottinger. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Hoglander has a rush that's defended. The shots are 7-2 for Vancouver with 6 minutes left. 2:39 left, though. Dallas gets a power play, and they score on it. Rope Hintz, who came into this game kind of cold. He was not tonight, though. Robertson and Ben with the assists at 18:50. For Jamie Benn, that's point number 900. And it's challenged, but it's a good goal, so the Stars go back to the power play. So that rolls over into the second period. The Canucks do finish the kill. We get a power play for Vancouver. There's a shorthanded near miss by Rope Hintz. They kill that off. Shots are 4-3 Dallas at 5 minutes. The Stars press at 5.5 minutes. Ben's denied. There's more pressure by Dallas after. At 7:39, Miller wires one from the left circle. Garland and Bluger with the assists, and it's 1-1 at this stage of the second period. Stars look to respond. There's a glove save on a chance for Garland. We get a power play for the Canucks. That's killed off. Stars draw a power play. That was killed off as well. Things get pushy on a hold by DeSmith. Canucks get a power play. Guess what? That's killed off. And then with 1:42 left, Dallas gets a power play. So a lot of power plays in these two games to round out the night. But yeah, it's 1-1 after 2. Third period, the Canucks finish the kill. We have a post for Höglander. The shots are 4 apiece 6 minutes in. Robertson has a wrister that's held. The Stars press at 6.5 minutes. The referee is informed that he sucks because of a non-call. Stars press at the half. The fans call another one that the referee does not. They were not happy. And then with 3:28 left, the Stars get a power play, and they score on it. It's Ben. He wires it from the slot. Jamie Ben's been red hot lately. Pavelski and Hintz with the assists on that at 16:52. Goalie pull happens with 2:44 left, and Dallas hits the empty net. It's Robertson from Pavelski and Hintz at 17:57. Dallas has clinched a playoff spot with the win. Boston clinched tonight too, even though they didn't play. The Stars go to 46-19-9 with the win, and also pull a point further ahead of Colorado. They're now 3 points up in Colorado. Vancouver 45-20-8. Once again, they missed a chance to clinch a playoff spot. They should have one clinched by the time I go see that game on Sunday, right? Shots on net, 9-8 Dallas in the first, 14-11 Dallas in the second, 20-9 Dallas in the third, or 10-9 Dallas in the third, sorry. Shots, 33-28 for Dallas. Power plays, Dallas 2 for 5, Vancouver 0 for 3. Special teams told the difference tonight. It told the story, made the difference. Hits, 34-17 Vancouver. Ottinger saves 27 out of 28. DeSmith saved 30 out of 32. DeSmith was very good. He just didn't have the goal support. So at any rate, there you go. You're all caught up. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you've not done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.